Hello everyone, so this is tank 2. Now tank 2's in a bit of a state, hasn't settled down. So I moved everything, just ignore the books. I shoved all the stuff that didn't need sunlight into the back, so the floating plants, obviously because they're at the top, coconut, some of the leftover plastic plants, I took a few out. And the sponge, the spawning mop, and then oh, there's a shrimp there. Did you just see it moving around? And then I took out the plastic rack that I had with the holes in, and put the Anubis that was there. I fastened one to that piece of pot, and I fastened one to this piece of wood out of the other tank. And then I moved the stone to the back that's giving the minerals. Put the Anubis there, that Anubis there. And if you look here, I don't know if we'll be able to see it, we will if we zoom in. If we look there, you'll see that there's some black soil. Now, what I did is I used a piece of wood with the Anubis on to form a sort of barrier. Sort of, yes, I know. Oh, there's a shrimp there. See it? Swimming upwards towards the leaves. And what I did is I put this, it's called fluval stratum. It's designed for plants and shrimp for nutrients and what have yous. And 2 kilos, 2 kilo bag. Just that much. Because you're supposed to lay it quite thick, and because there's only rocks and things on my gravel on the floor, so I thought, well, fair enough. So what I did is I partitioned it. That was what I wanted to do anyway. So if from about where my hand is, that way, it's all like nutrient. I moved the sponge filter into that corner, took the power head filter out. So in this corner now, we've got the Amazon sword. That plant is the one of the set that I have 3 random plants I bought the other week. 2 were in there, and this is the other one. And just cuttings of different of the same Anubis just spread about. And the idea with this is I want to see if I can grow some real plants in this bit. And I was going to say grow some plastic plants, and leave the plastic ones over there for now, and see what happens. Eventually I will probably take out all the plastic, but I want this tank to be a bit of a, what's the word, simpler tank, so like anyone can do it sort of thing. So if you've got bits and bobs, and a lot of people don't like plastic plants, there's a place for them, and people don't realize this. When you don't have a lot of money and you're struggling to keep plants alive, and you want your fish to swim around and hide behind things, plastic plants are perfectly fine. I mean, if you look in this corner here, look at the floating plants behind it, there's a lot of long green plastic plants, and they make perfect hiding spots with the spawning mop and the coconut. So they're quite simple, cheaper things to do to give your fish something. Now, a lot of people say, well, you know, plastic plants leak colours and all of that. Depends how long you have them in your tank, and depends how, you know, if they're proper ones for a fish tank, they should be alright. And there's a bit of a coconut there. So little bits and bobs that, you know, that, as I've said before, this is just like yard gravel that's been cleaned a lot. Now, nice and easy things. And there's a capac leaf at the back that I just pumped in there. The snails are getting bigger in this tank compared to the tank, as I mentioned the other day, because of the mineral content of the water's gone up, because of that rock. And oh, did you notice they were eating a bit of homemade food there? Yeah. I wonder how that got in there. But yeah, so I like to leave this a bit. Well, I never touch the other tank really, unless I'm moving objects. I don't like mess with it. I don't do water changes or any of that part. But with this tank, you know, I'm trying to get most of the endlers and guppies out, but I'm not doing it I'm not in a rush to get them out of here now. I want to put them in the other tank as and when. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I still have another empty tank in the corner there, can you see it? So, you know, it's not like I'm going to run out of tanks for emergencies if I think I need to get them out because they're doing damage. But in here now, if you're not aware, was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday I put in some shrimp. I drip acclimated the shrimp. It took about an hour and a half, and so where you just put a drop of water in every second in a filled 2 litres of a 2-litre jug with a little bit of their water which they came in, and the rest was drip acclimated. The corries are busy as well. So that's what I did yesterday. Put them in here and put that soil in. The tank's a bit murky still because of the fluval stratum. It's nutrient rich and it takes a while to clean the tank. Well, not to clean the tank, to clear the water out. You could speed it up with water changes and the like, but it's alright. Everything seems to be alright, and the corries are enjoying the fluval stratum, and so are the snails, which is good. The plants will be alright, because that's what's in the other tank. It's a load of fluval stratum in the bottom of the tank, mixed with sand and bits of tiny gravel and nice base. So if you want to grow plants and bottom feeders and the like, you really need a good substrate. Now, I'm not saying that I know what the best substrate is. That's up to you to work out for your tank and your fish, but experiment. But try not to go silly. If you're going to use gravel, wash it no matter where you get it from. If you get it from the yard, if you get it from another fish tank, wash it as well. If you get it from a bag, as long as it's like sealed and pre-washed, like this sort of thing, you know, like the fluval, it should be alright. But it will make your tank murky, so be aware of that. If you put it in obviously when your tank is going. If it's already set up, then to be fair, I mean, if you're setting it up with the gravel, just put a plate on top of the gravel, pour the water onto the plate, and everything's fine. In here, in case you didn't know, that's what is it called? A koi sword tail. It's just because it's red and white, well, red and silver. The other ones are red sword tails. They should be all females. It doesn't necessarily mean they are until I have a closer look, but they should be, and we'll discover that as we go. Obviously you can see the female endlers and guppies in there, corries. And now I think, now I'm probably wrong on this, but when they're the similar age, the corries, the females will be big and chunky, and the males will be slimmer and a little bit smaller, just like the Apatoras. So I've got 2 age groups in here though, so it's not necessarily, you know, until they're all a similar maturity level, it's not necessarily going to be so easy. I think that's how you... And obviously guppies and endlers, if it's pretty, it's a male. If it's plain, it's a plain Jane. Although that's with the standard ones. You can get some very nice guppies if you've got the money that have beautiful fins and colours. But yeah, that's just what's going on in this tank at the moment. See if we can get a shrimp. We saw one earlier, but I don't think it's... Yeah, the corries are really enjoying that I disturbed everything. And it looks like a right sight in there, but it'll settle down if I zoom out a tad. So yeah, I think it looks alright for the morning after the night before sort of thing. And yeah, so the snails are getting bigger, so there's enough minerals in there for their shells. Because if you look at some of the snails, I don't know if I can actually show you what I'm looking at. If you look at that snail there, that's in the almost middle next to the red sword. If you look, its shell is tiny and slimmer there, but bigger here. It's slightly different color. A few of them have that. It's because it's more nutrients in the water, so it's a better quality snail. Not that I want giant snails in my tank, obviously, and I won't, but it just goes to show that if the mineral content for the snail shells is high enough, and that means it'll be high enough for the shells of the, what are they called? Shrimps. Yeah. Oh, there's one down there. Can you see it under that leaf next to the curry? No, because the curry scared it away. No, it hasn't scared it away. It's still there. Oh, it's moving. There, just next to the leaf in the middle. Just here. There's a shrimp there. As I said, they are... Seeing it? These shrimp are culls, so they're just like a Heinz 57. All the different shrimps that haven't got the right colours for like the more expensive breeds, instead of like killing them off or putting them in a tank full of fish that'll gobble them up, they just put them all together and sell them for a lot cheaper. But you're not necessarily going to get any fabulous colours. You're going to get like a basic shrimp colour, which is fine, because I can afford to, I don't want to, but I can afford to lose like £21 shrimps if something goes wrong or my water's not right. Whereas if I bought, 20 quid's worth of expensive shrimps, I might get 1 or 3. So I'd rather experiment. And you need a decent size colony if you want to start breeding them, or at least get them to not so much breed a huge amount, but to self-sustain. Anyway, I'm waffling again, so I shall leave you to this. Everybody have a nice day, and I'll catch you all again later. Ta-ta.